2005, Jamie Oliver has just brought the petition into the UK. No products that are higher in saturated fat or sugar can be sold in public schools. There's no supply. You ain't got a Kit Kat or a Wagon Wheel or your Haribo's. It's all gone, right? I'm selling it like retail plus 30 to 50%. On good weeks, we get to the best part of £1,000, $2,000. I'm 14 years old with a net wealth of pushing $100 million is built on the back of selling confectionery out of my mother's council estate in public school.
Jack Corbett grew up in council housing in the UK, moved to Australia at 19 with nothing, and built Corbwood Associates into a market-leading financial services firm, helping everyday Australian families create wealth.
If you believe that the person who can change your life was watching you right now, what would you do differently? Whatever the answer to that is, just do that and do it 10,000 times in a row. And at the end of that, I guarantee you're a successful expert in your field. I don't begrudge my bullies. I'm actually grateful for them. Without your teasing, I wouldn't be in the shape I'm in today. I wouldn't care as much physically about myself.
I was fucking grilling chicken at Nando's. We always just knew we're going to make it one day. We'll be millionaires one day. We'll be super successful. You just know.
How many times have you boys got something wrong in this business?
Oh, fucking thousands.
Probably done 2 this morning. Probably got 1 since we've been sat in here. You know what I mean? It's like, that's real life. Part of why I was excited to have a chat with you outside of I could have just rung your phone and had the chat anyway is because it's going to be real.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, be raw, be real, be vulnerable.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's I don't want to become like, make it a nationality basis, but I feel like a man having too much pride or too much fear of showing vulnerability is the greatest reason they are not getting opportunities moving forward.
Bang on. I think it's a working class thing as well.
What is it about us that is so scared of not knowing something or being the dumbest person in the situation?
I think it's got to be something tied to the working class background, but also I think the sort of person that you are to go, I'm going to move to the other side of the world with nothing other than a suitcase or a backpack and not knowing really what I'm going to do when I get there other than travel and see where my nose takes me. And then making something work and having that, the carrot dangled and then following that and then being able to pivot. I think the sort of person you are that can go and do that and be successful is why you then go beyond. Like me and Ad say all the time, even when he was stood in Pack Fair selling scratch cards and even when I was flipping fucking grilling chicken at Nando's, we always just knew there was an underlying kind of feeling we're going to make it one day. We'll be millionaires one day. We'll be super successful. You just know.
Do you think there's people who have that feeling that never exercise their own potential?
Yeah, 100%.
And what do you think are the biggest inhibitors? Like in your mates that you grew up with, because there's a few of them, right, that spring to mind. And whether it's sports, like especially playing football, mine's always, I call it the Chris Corn story. But like he had the world by the balls, but couldn't get out of his own way.
It's because I had this at football, to be honest, myself, I used to drink on the piss every weekend. So then when I did train shit, it's because I was pissed.
It was you already pre-made an excuse.
100%. And if I gave absolutely everything and then failed, nowhere to hide.
I can't agree with that more. The amount of times I preserved actually applying myself 100% so that I could go back to myself and say, but you had more. You could try harder next time.
Yeah.
Do you know? It was a self-made, it was a prepared and planned excuse.
Yeah. We're doing some content this morning for a new business we're launching, Recruitment Agent Institute.
Yes.
And it's Rosie, our marketing lady, she asked us what's the one biggest mindset that people going into this program should take on. And it's kind of just that ultimate accountability and ownership, which for us was like freeing. The fact that, we are now the makers of our own destiny.
Yes.
Whether we work really hard and perform, we'll do really well, or whether we toss it off and do shit, we're going to hurt because of it.
At least I can die on my own sword and I've got control back.
But I think that absolutely terrifies some people because when you're into that victim mindset, if they no longer have the excuse of the external situation, it is nothing but their own fault.
No,
I think
I
some
agree.
people crumble.
I think the accountability, if you'd have asked me that same question, what is the number one requirement for success and or to be a great leader, I think it's that. It's ultimate accountability. But I don't know if you can ever be ultimately accountable if you're not willing to be vulnerable. Because you'll only be accountable for the things that feel right, sound right, or look good. How many times can you put your hand in the air and say, my bad, I fucked that up? And the more that you can do that in front of your team, the more it gives them permission to do the same. Do you know, like we've removed it now, but we used to have this, do you know, the sales bell in the sales office?
Yeah.
We changed that to be in the F up bell.
Yeah, I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
Every time you made a mistake, ring the bell. You could get a reward. Let's, for example, say a $50 voucher.
Yeah.
But you can only ring the bell if you're willing to share with everybody else what the fuck up was. Right?
Yeah.
And that just collaborative learning style.
Shared learning,
People have no fear. It's like, first of all, I'm actually glad I made the mistake because it's fail fast, fail forward. Don't make the same mistake twice. You can't ring the bell if you made the same mistake someone else has already made.
Yeah.
Because we've built a standard operating procedure around that mistake and it's in our ops manual. That makes sense? So it's like
I love it.
having that culture, and you've been in great sports teams. You boys have played at a good level. Do you know? Maintaining culture is easy when you win. It's almost just show up, just arrive, and by virtue of being the winners, you will be happy. But why did Liverpool not lose? Sorry to the Liverpool fans. Why did Liverpool not lose at home for such an extended period? Don't quote me, but it might have been 3.5 years, something along those lines. They hadn't lost a game at home. To lose in 4 in 6 or 5 in 7. Ronda Rousey never been touched.
Yeah.
To not being able to win another fight. What changed?
Self-belief.
Just the mentality, right? Like she's not physically any different at judo.
And then you've got the counter to that, more belief in their opponents.
100%. Because once you show me a crack, I will try to exploit it, right? That's that simple. As a footballer, go into your one-to-one matchups. If I know that I've got you off the first step, well, now I'm just going to start dragging you around the midfield, right? Like if I know that I'm stronger than you, just keep you nice and close, tuck you in, I'll just roll off the shoulder. So I think that is why people are reluctant to show their vulnerability, is for the fear of the potential exploitation.
It's the PARB framework, which is like, you imagine a square. You got potential is step number 1, action, result, belief. But it's anywhere in life, you just go through that. What potential do you believe you have? I believe that we can be the world's best recruitment agency ever. Okay, well, we're going to go and do a lot of action as a result of that, because that's what we believe. So the result is going to be pretty good. And then finally, the belief is going to come because we've got a good result from the action we've done. But it happens the other way. If we think that we're just going to be super, super average, we're probably not going to try that hard in terms of our action, which is going to get a bad result, which means our belief's going to drop. So then you think your potential's even less, and you just keep going around. It's not just business, it's like anything in life.
It is. It actually becomes self-perpetuating. I've never heard it explained in that way. We always used to work on, as a company, like the continuous cycle of improvement, the plan, do, check, standardize, very similar format, right? So, but just being happy to get it wrong and being happy to plan again and plan again and plan again. I'm in year 9 of my 5th business. But you think I woke up this morning and didn't plan? You think there were no issues today? You think on a Monday in Australian culture that someone under 25 didn't ring in sick this morning? Like, are you kidding yourselves? We have those dramas every day. The difference is the more battle-tested you become and the more victories you have, the more belief in self and the more belief in your team around you. Like Fergie time, right? To us, no target we've ever set ourselves is over until we say it is. Because at 11:59 on that last night, if you want to, you can send another text message. That's your choice. Do you know? Is it professional etiquette? Maybe not. But like, you know, that's your choice. So when have we failed is when we stop trying. And the amount of times it's why I have a new opinion nowadays on the power of goal setting. And I don't think rigid, smart goals are for everybody. I actually think they're not for most people. I really don't. I think take that tiny experiments approach. Anne-Laure Lecomte, I don't know if you've ever read that literature.
No.
Chronos, Kairos, I could ramble here, I'll try not to, but just understanding that in any moment you can recalibrate. Yeah, 4-0 down. Is the game over? Does anybody remember Arsenal, Newcastle halftime? Right, like Liverpool, AC Milan. Right, like that game could have been over at halftime if one person decided to stand at the front of the room and say so. You know what I mean? But that unification of a decision that this alone is only over if we choose it to be. Who in here decides it's not? All of us. Great. So we now have 45 minutes to score 4 goals or 3 goals. We're not going to score 3 in the first minute, but we could score 1 every 15 minutes. So how about I break this back down? I did this with my team at the start of this month, right? We've had our slowest January and February since 2020, but we've applied a 25% growth target on last year. So now they're 40% behind target 2 months in. So like a fighter, what does someone want to do when they've just been punched and you want to get your shot back now, right? Because I just cracked you, so you want to crack me back the same. Okay, what if we say this is the end 2 rounds into a 12-round fight? I only have to win 7 of them, and I'll still be the winner. So let's grab the remainder of our goal over the remaining 10 months, divide it back. Let's not worry about month 4 to 12. How about we just realign ourselves and we just achieve this once for the month of March? Who's in? Got their attention back again now. Do you know what I mean? And they're not focused on the 2 losses, nor are they focused on getting qualified for Champions League or winning the league, because you ain't going to win the league. You just lost 2. Let's just win this weekend. Go back to that. Actions. It's going to lead to my result, which gives me my belief. So now I've got a new plan. Again, I think that's fucking awesome. I'm stealing that. I hope I get to use it before this goes public. So I'll make out like it was mine.
Now, what I'm thinking, we normally kick off with a big question, but we had a lot of good shit there. So we're going to cut a clip what we've just spoken about in.
Yeah,
we're going to go back to the question.
I was letting it go.
And then we're going to fire. Mate, I've got the question for you. What will the 15-year-old Jack Corbett be most proud of today's Jack Corbett?
No one's ever asked me that question. That's just made all the hairs on my
And it wasn't planned. That conversation we've had, that's what was going through my brain.
What would he be most proud of is that he learned to love himself. I fell in love with myself. I started a journey of finding the qualities that I had. And it started a romance that's going to last for the rest of my life. I'd say that I would be most proud for. And then on a practical level, we grew up on, we call it council housing. Over here, you call it a housing commission. And my mother's lived in the same building since before I was born. And to be able to buy that house from the government for her and know that she wouldn't be forcibly downsized due to having empty bedrooms because her children were no longer there. That's one of the moments I've had the greatest pride in myself. Like, go you, man! You really did something.
Why is that the biggest one for you?
We grew up without much. Like, we really grew up just about getting by, you know. And I watched this lady work 3 jobs. She'd get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. She'd do her laundry. She'd go clean other people's toilets. She'd work in Marks and Spencer's, which for Aussie people is like David Jones, I guess, or something like that, like a Myers store. She'd work in the food hall. And then she'd work in the Macca's drive-through over night time, you know. She worked 6 days a week, 12 to 16 hours a day. And she gave us everything she could. She never took a thing for herself. And throughout the journey, it's just one of the things I always knew. Like, when I have the chance to, I'm going to see you right. And now, for those that follow my mother online, my mum is retired. She lives on holiday. She goes on 15 holidays a year. She owns her own home. She drives a nice vehicle. She's in a happy marriage. She's not overweight. She's twice remitted from cancer. She doesn't have thyroid issues. She doesn't have cancer issues. She looks 20 years younger than she did at the age she actually, you know, she's born 57. Mama's going to be 69 this year. So, yeah, seeing her in her best self, that's probably one of my proudest things. Obviously, then things like children, etc., follows thereafter. But yeah, if you said to me, one, I love me, man. I love everything I fucking stand for. I really do.
One thing that's going through my mind then, and in some way or shape or form, we all had a similar background or upbringing. It was only a recent episode I was kind of sharing, where did my work drive come from? And that's because my mum would work all day as a nursery nurse, but she wanted to be a theatre nurse.
Yes.
So she'd come home, she'd have 2 kids under 5 years old, and she'd cook dinner, do dinner, and I'd watch her sit in the study at home from 6 till 11 at night doing a nursing degree. Yeah. And this was when you had to actually read books and
ChatGPT couldn't do it for me.
And write your essays, and that's where mine came from. But one thing that was going through my head then is everything that you've achieved today. What did that environment as a youngster, and seeing your mum do all of what she did, and obviously the story with your dad, where I believe he spent time in prison. Yeah. What did that teach you about resilience that now makes Jack so successful today?
I think it always showed me that value can come in so many facets. Don't for a second think my house didn't have love. Deep rooted connection and affection for one another at all times, you know? We played awesome board games. There's very few things we can't do with a pack of cards, you know, for hours on end, pieces of chalk. So I think what it did is it allowed me to truly understand that the life I was desiring, which was all the material and physical possessions that I could see other people had around me, were only going to compound what we already had. So that's what Mum really just drilled into us, is if we can't be happy without it, we'll never be happy with it. And whatever we had, we were taught to give. And I think that's what she gave to us, is that she understood the first two words I ever tattooed on me, destiny and karma. She taught us good things happen to good people. They just don't always happen at the time that we need them to. And the true mark of me as a man was going to be what I did when nobody else was watching. And I think that's the bits that she gave me, like when none of this is on, when the cameras go off, when the stage isn't there, when the TV show had ended, or I deleted all of my social media. I just had me. And in that moment, I still made the right choice. And that's the bit that I think is what she gave me. And that's where I choose to exercise resilience. People have said to me, what is ethics? What is having integrity? The word integrity means doing the right thing even when it's not the easy thing, and doing the right thing even when nobody in the world will know you didn't.
It's resourcefulness is a big word coming to my mind here. And you had not a lot to be resourceful with, but you found a way. So now when you amplify that, when you do have a lot more resources,
For
imagine
sure.
the outcome you can achieve. But
Definitely. I think the other bit then is the gratitude. So we're not a religious family. I married the daughter of a Jehovah. She comes from a more structured religious background than I do. We don't pray before dinner, but we express gratitude. Anybody who comes to our home, and it's usually driven by our children nowadays. My oldest boy loves to be the one to start the conversation, is what are we grateful for today? And they're just some of the non-negotiables. I do worry about raising my children in privilege. How do I give them that same level of resilience, determination, that dogged attitude I developed where I had to, because it was survive or die, right? Like they were your choices. My closest friends are also in prison like my father. They're not bad people. They were just making the best of the situation they were in. Do you know? My godfather had his head cut, his neck sliced open, dead, laying dead on the floor, murdered because of a drug addiction. But I don't want to speak ill of the place I come from because it has great people. But violence is normal. Drugs are normal. Prostitution is normal. Tax evasion is normal. These things are normal. Crime, corruption. Most people who are doing well for themselves is because they're scamming the government some way or another, right? Like that's the main way to get ahead. So having those influences around you, and a bit like you in a chicken shop or selling raffle tickets. I also made some poor choices. I left the UK 25 days after my 19th birthday because something inside me said, I think I might be better than this place. And the only way I'm going to know is to go somewhere else. Do you know? And you come to Australia, you come to anywhere, for anybody who's thinking about going somewhere different. You might be from the Gold Coast wanting to go to Brisbane. I spent my whole life being Clive Corbett's son and Jimmy Corbett's brother. That makes sense? Are you Brett D'Oliveira's best mate? Are you Jack Godwin's friend? Nah, I just had the first time in my life in Australia. I just got to be Jack. I didn't have to carry any of those preconceived misconceptions because my brother and my father are quite tough. I'm not. I couldn't beat my way out of a wet paper bag. Violence, the adrenaline dump makes me want to vomit. I don't like it. But I had to pretend I was good, right? Because that's the requirement at that time. So yeah, I think the biggest thing in traveling and in separating yourself from the environment you were raised in is you have the first chance to express yourself as you see yourself. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that was why it was a big change for me coming away from it. And probably why I have no desire to go back.
I mean, we've got quite a few things in common. one thing we've all got in common is we all started selling sweets at school. That was the entrepreneurial journey.
The sugar kings over here, the sugar daddies.
Mine was short-lived because I just couldn't be asked to keep selling sweets when I wanted to play football.
Yes.
So I kind of got in and got out before I got caught.
Yeah.
Before I went down.
What sweets were you selling, mate?
I actually truly became dependent on it.
Yeah.
I started trying to find ways to make money as a 14-year-old because my mum is terminally ill with cancer and is unable to work. My brother is a apprentice for Ringway, which is like laying tarmac, do you know? At that time, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong, he's netting under £200, under $400 a week, and he's the only income earner in my family in that house. So we had to start making money. So my sister started to work at the Masonic Hall, which I didn't know what Freemasons were at that time. Kind of wish we hadn't sent her there, but I'm pot scrubbing. We're leafleting for the local Nepalese restaurant. We're doing paper rounds. Like, we're just doing what we got to do to bring in enough money to pay the bills. My godmother's mother owns the Prince of Wales pub in Warndon, Worcester.
Fuck yeah.
And she gives me a card to what we in Australia would probably call Costco.
Yeah.
So I can go buy bulk, right? I can buy at wholesale. But in that time, 2004, 2005, Jamie Oliver has just brought the petition into the UK. No products that are higher in saturated fat or sugar can be sold in public schools. So there's a huge demand. Kids love eating shit, right? But there's no supply. You ain't got a Kit Kat or a wagon wheel or your Haribo's or your turkey Twizzlers. It's all gone, right? No fizzy drinks. So wholesale is about 50 to 60% of retail. But I don't have to sell at retail.
Nah.
Because there's no one else in this school that can, and you can't leave to go to the shop, right?
Yeah.
So I'm selling at like retail plus 30 to 50%, which means I've got the best part of 100% markup. And it's growing now. Like, I'm not making £60 a day now. I'm making £160 a day. I've got 3 workers that are in different grades who attend to different sections of the school.
This is elite.
And I'm not declaring to Her Majesty's revenue and customs what's going on in my 14-year-old life, right? So in pound coins too. I'd go to Friday, Bud at the Royal Bank of Scotland, Worcester, and I'd empty this ridiculous amount of 20s, 50s and pound coins on her desk. She'd sort through them for me and she'd load it into my account. And on good weeks, we'd get to the best part of £1,000, $2,000. I'm 14. I'm 14 years old.
That's a month's wage for an adult back then.
It's more than anyone in my family's ever earned, ever, at that point. So we become dependent on it. My mother at that time is driving a decommissioned Royal Mail van that has 2 seats. So we usually have to jump in the back. Do you know how embarrassing it is for a kid to get out the back of the Royal Mail van? At any point? Do you know? Yeah. And it was just like, no, we're going to get mum a car. A green Daewoo Matiz. I swapped it for a push bike and 500 quid. And it's like, that was the come up, bro. Dead set. That's what my family today, with a net wealth of pushing $100 million, is built on. It was on the back of selling confectionery out of my mother's council estate in public schools.
Wow. How important is environment in all of that? Because in 2 ways as well. One, the environment you're trying to push away from for your family, but then also the timing and environment of your first ever business and your business strategy was leveraged off good old Jamie Oliver, making sure that you couldn't sell confectionery in school, which then meant you could go and increase your prices based on the back of that. Which at 13 years old, to actually recognise that and do that is pretty impressive in itself, mate.
Yeah, I definitely think I've always had a good kind of inclination for timing. Do you know? Go back and any of the literature I've been sharing with Corbwood customers, not to toot my own horn, but I've been picking this interest rate play pretty well, almost to a T, and I've been calling it 3 to 6 months out the whole way. Do you know? So I feel like there has always been an inclination to be able to switch yourself off and just, where do you feel this is all going? So at that time, my first business is not confectionery. That was just my first successful business. My first business is selling counterfeit polo shirts on eBay. Lacoste and Ralph Lauren counterfeit polo shirts that I'm buying on holiday, like getting people who are going on holidays in the local area to Marmaris in Turkey or to Benidorm in Spain, and I'm sending them with my cash from my paper round to bring me back polo shirts. eBay was a bit of a Wild West at that time. There probably wasn't as much sort of regulations in the way things are going. I didn't say they were counterfeit. I didn't say they were right. I said there's a Ralph Lauren polo size medium, £45. Get it now if it's either an auction or buy it now.
The fucking auction.
Yeah, the buy it now. So that's where we transition to. And I think in an environment piece, you have to be willing to say that what I'm doing today has the capacity to be superseded. Otherwise, you'll never be looking for innovation. Do you know? So come back to like on a property piece or even before that, solar power. Like my first successful business in this country was solar power, right? So yes, Jamie Oliver brings this in. I start running some numbers. It's the only thing I am good at is crunching some numbers. I'm like, I can make a couple quid here. I get to this country, the government's giving away solar power. You got to remember, my first job, I got paid for you taking something for free. If I knocked your door and you agreed to take 7 solar panels, you got them for free from the government, and I got $500.
That'd be nice.
That's a pretty
I was
deal.
leaving my house at 5 a.m. and still knocking doors in the dark. I thought there was like someone was going to catch on to the fact that this wasn't real.
So just
And I'm 19 earning $4,000, $5,000, $7,000 for a week. I left the housing commission. Like I thought me £160 in gold coins from me lollies was good. Do you know? And I think that it is important for people to recognize timing into something. I thought there was a great opportunity there. There was a government incentive. The sun beats every single day. Price of electricity is rising. You know, there's a little niche here. How many people got into solar power in 2018 and haven't made a success for that business because the market just isn't there like it used to be? It's a rat race to the bottom, do you know? No real margin in it anymore. So childcare centres. How many people opened a childcare centre last year and regretted it?
yeah.
I bet the people who opened them in 2018 don't.
Yeah.
You know where I'm coming from?
Cyclical.
So
Yeah.
it is a timing thing. And I think not only your timing in, but you also need to know when your time is right to walk too. Whether that's just to say, this friendship, I have no animosity towards you, but this friendship doesn't serve me anymore. So I'm going to walk away from it, right? A marriage or partnership, business partnership, a business in its entirety, an industry. So many people, like a sport. Just know when your day's done, right? Like Cameron Smith. That's the epitome to me. You knew your day with Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
No one made you stop. Didn't he go? I'm pretty sure he got dragged back off the sofa for about 6 months at one point still.
And won the league again.
Then
knocks it.
We're still the best player in the game. But go out on your own terms and just knowing yourself when it's not right anymore. That was one of my toughest decisions in my life, was to walk away from a business I'd put so much energy into and from people that meant so much to me, customers and colleagues, and a business partner. Business partners, but like, this is a marriage, right? In its own right. But I knew if I stayed longer, I would start to have a negative impact. You know, I'd put all the positive I could in and the time was right. And I think that's important too.
I want to share a story, mate. I don't even half knows this, but Jack's probably one of the first people I've met when I came to Australia. I remember being on the Broadie balcony. I think I would have just played, or Jack would have played out there, and you hear that distinct Worcester accent, and you go, "Fuck, where are you from? Worcester, you? Fucking Worcester." I've been here literally about a couple of weeks at the time. Luckily for me, or like serendipitous as it is, the way the world works out, Jack's running a sales training and recruitment company at the time. So good bloke. There's obviously a fee to pay to go there. He kind of said, "Mate, don't worry about that. Just come in here. We'll get you a job." Me and my missus in there. A week later, we've got a job. You know. So that's the first story. All right. One, the timing, the right place. Having someone who's been in the shoes that you've been in and wants to help you through, as someone would have helped Jack through back in the day as well. And the next one, he's playing cricket with Jack. He's talking about, but no, that's not the other story. Maybe there's two stories actually.
I know the other story.
I'm going to tell the good one first. I think it's a good line, mate.
We might save that one for another day.
No, that's coming out as well. So the good story, batting with Jack, the guy counts every single ball. He knows how many runs he's on, how many balls have been played, how many balls are left to go. Like his brain just wires differently. So we're batting, and Jack's going, well, man, what do you want here? He's like, I'm on 47 off 63. What the fuck?
That's so good.
Crazy. But now the best story of all. So also playing cricket with Jack. Runs a comp, runs a team. Yeah, I'll come down and help out. Play one game, have a great time, few beers. This is awesome. Come back again next week. Rock up to the game. It's fucking 30 degrees. All my mates are at the pub. That's all right, because I'm just going to play, grade 5 and have a few beers with the boys. Turns out grade 3 or grade 2 are a couple of players short. And apparently everyone in my team is all pullied up and I'm the only one who's got to go. And I rock up wearing shorts because it's grade 5. Right, you might as well use tennis rackets for the bat if that's kind of level. Grade 2 is not like that. Grade 2 is legit.
They're a bit more serious than boys.
You've got to be wearing proper pants. So I'm like, well, Jack, I haven't got anything. He goes, oh, I'll sort you out. It's all good. All right, sweet. Wander over there. Hey, boys, yeah, I'm ringing. Like, yeah, fucking, we'll give it a crack. Good stuff. Jack goes, oh, mate, here's your pants.
For anyone who hasn't met Adam, he's 6'4". He's a big lad. We could find some Kookaburra under 15 girls' trousers that didn't come past his shins and looked like they'd been sprayed onto him.
Fucking hell.
So how did you bat so first of all, they lose the toss and bowl.
No, we batted first.
Batted
so
first.
we batted. You're going to come at 7? Yeah, sweet. That's all good. No worries. Fancy myself here. Like I used to be decent back in the day.
I'm in Burley Surf Club at this point, by the way. and he's telling me, and I'm going, mate, hurry up, get here. I'm with a couple of lads, come and have a few beers, and then these updates roll through.
So I'm like, yeah, all good, mate. And oh shit, someone's out. I'm going in. I'll catch you in a bit. 5 minutes later, hey boys, I'm back. So they're watching on like the Play Cricket app, and they go, oh, Adam Powell, 0, first ball, and then it's got a little golden duck next to it.
Ducks come on the screen.
So I walked out there thinking, yeah, I'll fancy myself. Read grade 2. Been bowl first ball. Fuck, oh, hey, good laugh. Go and sit down. Innings finishes. Then we go out to bowl. I'm thinking I'll probably get a couple of overs in. Don't bowl, get put on the fucking boundary in front of the other team who are all sat there. I'm in my Lorna Janes and they're all going like, fuck me, did you get your pants from your mum? And the new Lorna Janes, are they? And I thought, I've got sunburn, it's fucking head show. My ego's gone because I've got a golden duck and all my mates are on the piss. I'm going, Jack Corbett.
I tried to pull him out. I was like, do you want to have a quick beer, mate? He went, no, I don't even want to talk to you. Can I confirm that's the last game of cricket you've ever played?
The last ever.
4 years ago. Never stepped on the field since. I think the problem is you're really competitive by nature. And in the one game you played before that, you scored the most runs and took the most wickets. So when it comes to like someone's got to go to the better team, the best bloke goes up.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no way we were sending most of them fellas we were playing with. We were a drinking team that used cricket as a meeting point, Yeah. Like I'm talking full cocktail bars. I don't know if you know Jeremy Davidson, Mr. Consistency, used to own the collective on a party. We're whipping up like spicy margs at 11 o'clock in the morning. And we had to make a rule that we had to bowl first. Because if you bat first, everyone was wankered, completely wankered in the second half. I remember a good mate of ours, Michael.
Yeah, I know this story.
You have to umpire for yourself, right? But he's a big fan of the punt. So he's having a good watch of his races there. He's giving it the go. And the bloke goes, how was that? He looks up and instead of like every other person where you just go, going down leg, mate, he just went, oh, sorry, man, I was watching races. Just called it straight out. I wasn't actually looking, so.
I thought you looked up and just went,
decided to ask the batsman. He went, did you think it was out? He went, nah. He was like, nah, you should be fine then, mate. Nothing further. But now I do come back to that. But like, I had an inclination to help you. People always say to me, oh, you used to help everybody. It may have come across that way, but I actually didn't. To me, respect is a huge thing. First of all, like, how did you even approach me? And did you have an expectation that I should help you, or an assumption because I've helped somebody else in this team that I'm that guy? Am I the helper guy? Like, is that my job? But it was the humility of it. Like, you came humble. You weren't expecting, oh, well, I used to play for a good football team, or I can actually I want to earn this amount. It was like, no, I'm coming in humble. I'm grateful to be given an opportunity. I need a start. Someone's got to give me a start. And you boys are a lot like me. I felt, you gave me a start, in 60 days time, you'll know what I can do for you. Because I'll be the first one in and the last one out, you know? And I'll set a target that's above what the company has for me, and I'll still go and smash it. So yeah, I think that was a big part. And I think it's what plays into both of your boys' success now. It's like, it feels very organic. I wouldn't picture myself sitting with you and you've got like your grandmother there, or in the middle of a boardroom chopping up a massive deal for an ASX 200. Do you know what I mean? I don't reckon your character would sway more than maybe about 5 to 10%. Of course, when you're with your mates, you're a little more informal, fuck this, fuck. But on the whole, your core construct, the set of morals and beliefs you two boys are built on, I think would stay omnipresent regardless. And that's something I had to work really hard on. I had to work really hard on that. I wore multiple masks every day. I wore a mask to work to be that person, partly because I believed that's what people wanted. There weren't people making me put it on. I just didn't believe that who I actually was good enough. So I thought I had to put the superhero mask on. And if I wasn't wearing that cape, then I wouldn't get the respect I deserved. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Like, I used to have to wear the Rolex and the BMW because they made me feel like the man I thought I was. Make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely difficult.
I think you talk about those core values, and I think the magic is that because we've had a similar background, and even since we've grown up, we've known each other for so long, those core values are so aligned. So that's why I think it's so easy to be, both of us, to be organic and authentic, and that's the business brand. So it's amplified, it's not just one.
What aren't you aligned on? And do you agree that there should be healthy conflict in all relationships?
Yes, absolutely. I think we're quite funny. We're doing a lot of work with a company called EOS at the moment, where you talk about most successful
operating
components.
system. Traction.
Visionary integrator.
Brilliant.
Before we even learned about EOS and what a visionary was, what an integrator was, one thing we always said was our superpower was that although we were so aligned in many ways, we were also so different. So we were like, it's 1 + 1 = 3. Ad's brain has an idea or a certain vision or a way of seeing things, and then mine has a different idea. And we'd always come in and land on the middle. So it's almost like a mini advisory board in itself. So I think that was probably our superpower, that just so naturally we were opposing, but we also had a knack, and it's probably built through the trust and relationship we've built over, 15 years now, that we can have opposing views, and it's never an argument or my way has to be the way or his way has to be the way. It's okay, well, let's just work this out and find somewhere in the middle.
How do you actually do that? So like, let's say you disagree today on marketing. I don't agree. I don't like the context of that. I have an opinion that's X, yours is Y. How do you actually resolve that? So I get there's a respect there, because that's got to be there to even start the conversation. But like, how do you practically overcome that?
I'll give you the answer 2 months ago, because right now, EOS, Harvey sits in the marketing seat. So respecting authority, we go, mate, it's yours, all yours. But let's say before that, to make it a bit more controversial, whoever believes the most strongly.
That's what came to my mind is when...
Basically, whoever fights the hardest for their perspective, it means more to them. So I can see this means so much to you. I'm just going to concede now.
I'll back you.
You got to share. It's not even conceding.
No.
It's not conceding for me. It's going, fuck, there's something... Like, he's a successful guy, right? And there's something that's lying in him about this decision that he believes in it so much. You've got to trust your gut. I'll back him.
But the magic of that is we don't just want to win. If we both don't give a shit, we'll go, mate, I don't give a shit. But if someone does go, hey, I'm being serious to this one, this needs to be this way, fucking fair enough. So we're not point scoring.
And so you feel that can be overused, because if everything's important to you, nothing's important to you. So it's, as a partner, save those moments when you're saying, listen to me, back me on this one. Because if you're going to say that to me every day, I start questioning.
But then you go back to respect.
Yeah.
You go back to respect, because then the level of respect we have for each other, it never would be overused just to get your own way.
No. Yeah, no, I understand.
I think relationship-wise, that's probably what I'm about as well with Mads. 99% of things I don't give a shit about.
Once you come back to that EOS though, and it's why, like, for any of you that would watch these boys' content and you're in that startup phase, stop trying to run this race alone. Stop thinking you've already figured something out. Books like Traction, the Gino Wickmans, the Michael Gerbers, the E-Myths, do you know? That's tangible information that if you follow it, and it'll even just start by just following it before you put all of your own perspective, you will be 3 steps closer to what it is you're aiming for. And that's how now, if I was to have a business partner, I have associates, but one of the reasons I made this decision is because I don't want to have to ask anyone to back me. I'm going to back me every time, do you know?
Yeah.
And I think going back to those, we call it RACI, responsible, accountable, consulting form. So every single scope in this office, including turning off a light when you leave, has a responsibility. We believe anything that's everybody's responsibility is nobody's responsibility. So if everybody's supposed to turn the light off when they leave, when I come in tomorrow and it's on, who do I hold accountable to that? Do you know what I mean? And so we got really granular with it. Every single responsibility we could have. Who's the primary and the secondary responsible person? Who's going to keep that responsible person accountable to their responsibilities? Who do they need to consult before they take an action? And who or what, usually a CRM system, do they need to inform after they've taken it? Then we start to ban them. And when it comes to our leadership group, if marketing's Harvey and you guys accept, a bit like with me and Ryan puts things together far nicer than I was ever going to. Do you know what I mean? So that should be his lane. And when the remit falls, because we'll code decisions, is it an 001, an 00, whatever it is it a red, green, whatever color it is, well, who's the head decision maker in that space? That's you? I got you, bro. Let's go see it through. But then do you as his partner do we put some metrics behind the deliverables and a time frame on how I'm going to keep you accountable to this decision I'm backing you on at all?
Right now, we haven't got capacity.
No.
We're both running as fast as we can.
Yes.
Carrying as many plates as we can.
Yes.
So if Harv's got it, Harv's got it. If I've got it, I've got it.
Have you thought about the doer and the thinker starting to create more space in the middle? Or do you both enjoy so much playing? Because I know for me, that was my biggest part. Like every time they kept saying, get your hands off it and go think. Go sit in the raw room and conjure the next idea. I realized I'm actually not a good leader. I'm actually a bang average. I'm a great captain. I'm best on the field, wearing the shirt with you, swinging the axe at the coalface with you. That's where I have the most value. I'm a highly ineffective leader for a couple of reasons. One, I've never had one. I've owned my own business since I was 4. I've never really had many great leaders to learn from. And it doesn't come naturally to most, do you know? So yeah, it's just something I've thought with you guys is like, if there is...
Hey guys, it's Jacob Lockie from Naturally Cooked Sunscreen, and we're pumped to be sponsoring the Two Blokes, One Business podcast.
We're on a mission to foster a generation of Australians that take sun safety more seriously and encourage it amongst their mates. You can find us at naturallycooked.com.au or follow our socials at Naturally Cooked Sunscreen. Good on ya.
The entrepreneur, the engineer and the technician, do you ever just naturally gravitate back to...
We got a good analogy we use, isn't it? You're thinking of the exact same one. The way we kind of describe it to new staff coming in or when we manage people on a day-to-day basis, Ads is much like yourself. He's the captain. He likes to be on the pitch, kind of swinging the axe alongside you, whereas I'm more the head coach.
Yeah.
And that's probably where you get that, the visionary and integrator seats works so well. But there's also that middle ground of overlap where, in a sporting environment, the head coach and the captain will have regular meetings, and there will be parts of their duties that they both overlap and like to do together, such as thinking of new ideas. Oh, head coach, I thought of this. What do you think? Captain, who's on the ground with the team, goes, nah, not the right decision for whatever reason. Or the captain goes, I think this. And the head coach goes, great idea, but this is how we implement it to the rest of the team. Yeah. So it's that, yes, the space in the middle for me, I quite like the overlap.
Yeah.
Because it still keeps you on the same page.
Yeah. Actually, that makes total sense to me. And I think one of the mistakes I certainly made in partnerships in the past is either not having the captain on the field, taking your captain off the field doesn't help anybody. How many companies take their best salesperson and make them the sales manager?
Yeah.
And now their sales performance declines because they don't have their best salesperson selling. Do you know what I mean? And I think, especially go back to myself and Ryan, he was on the field, but he's a leader. Does that make sense? He was playing the captain. I was being told to be this face and I'm like, wow, this isn't like, can I just get in with my troops and go roll my sleeves up? Because one thing I love to do with training is to make a phone, like, just give me the phone.
Yeah.
But they keep okay, so they'll do the same to me then, yeah?
Yeah.
Give me the phone. Do you know? And it was that being the change I wanted to see in my team, do you know? And I think that was something that obviously you figured out a lot quicker. And I think it's something that you should commend, not in any way feel like there's no, when you have that true like egalitarianism, there's no ego. There's no above and below. There's no task that makes someone more superior, you know? But being able to play to your skills drives the results, which gives the belief, which makes you want to plan harder and bigger again, doesn't it? You know? Yeah.
I want to talk about learning, mate, because I want to know your journey in learning. I can't imagine at school you were the kid with your hand up every time and the most engaged. You probably had other things that were interesting you. So when did you decide that one, learning has the ROI to get you where you wanted to be, I think first and foremost, and then when did you start to enjoy it and what impacts that had?
That's a huge question. I think in hindsight, you review and you were always learning, right? Because whether it was nature or nurture, you were acquiring from the environments that were around you. I definitely wasn't a good student. I wasn't a bad kid. I wasn't the throw stuff around, swear at the like. I was raised by a good woman who would have beat the shit out of me for that. But I was a smart ass. I already had the answer before you asked the question. I'd already completed the whole day's exercise because you wrote on the board what the exercise was going to be. Instead of me listen to you teach it and then do it, I just did it. So as soon as you said star, like a schmuck prick, I just dropped it on your desk.
Yeah.
Then she told me, well, you couldn't have done it that quick. And I got every single answer right. You know where I'm coming from? In the classes I was engaged in, drama. I loved acting. Miss Roach at Algar School, you'll never hear this, but there is actually one of the people, you're one of the people that saved my life. I'd have been a drug addict if it wasn't for you. I truly believe that. I learned to act and to play and to be on stage, and I enjoyed that. Maths, I love numbers, and sports, right? If you told us we could just go play cricket and football and basketball and rugby, I'd have gone to school every day, happy. But you longed for those periods and you loathed everything in between, and you just went to history and learned about the Crimean War of the 1850s because you knew you had sport in fourth period. And then as I got older, grade 8 and 9, if I didn't have a class that day, just one that could bring me to school, I'd find a reason not to go. Whether that was like convincing your mom you had a cough or something else, or just playing total truant, or showing up, signing in and just never going to the class, just going missing inside the school system somewhere, you know? But I didn't enjoy it. Part of why I didn't enjoy it is because I had the really immature mindset at that time that, like, you're a teacher, you earn I don't even know what the but you earn a minuscule amount of money, you're driving a Hyundai Getz, you're definitely not happy. So there's nothing you're going to tell me that I need to listen to, because you're a bum. And I know a bloke around the corner that sells cocaine, that drives a Mercedes, and he's got a Cuban and he's got a Hublot. I reckon I'm just going to go hang out at his place this afternoon because he seems to have it figured out. You know where I'm coming from? So like, my father's an Irish traveller. Spent a lot of weekends around caravan sites. The conversations are generally revolving around what you already know, not what you want to learn. Do you know? So I think that I'd never had a learning mindset. And I still arrived here, 19 years of age, pretty pig-headed. And then when you started giving me money, like when I was knocking a door, being a cheeky little English prick, make a joke, and you got $500 for giving you free solar panels, which to me was the easiest thing I've ever done. If that option was available today, I'm quitting. I'm going back to that, do you know? That's the easiest job you'll ever have. But in doing that, I started to get real money. Now you go and give arrogance high income that it's really not having to work for. I don't have a qualification. Do you know what I mean? So now I think you triply can't tell me shit. Ain't nothing. Nobody's going to tell me now. Even the woman who was my Bible, my encyclopedia of wisdom, my mother now, I'm actually not listening to you anymore. You're a bum. Do you know? You haven't done anything. With all that knowledge you've got, what have you achieved in life? So I went into a really shit place at that point. And then the solar power industry has an overnight change that makes my business non-viable. And I'd been spending as quick as I was earning. Saving and investing wasn't really something I compromised. I had a fair few Jordans. I had a jet ski, do you know, like all the things a 19-year-old kid would need, 20-year-old kid would need. But that was a huge wake-up call to realize that, like, these things are finite, and they can be taken from you. Where to me, I was like, you can never take my experiences from me. You can never take my knowledge from me. And in that moment was when I thought, I want to take this further. I don't want to just be a salesman in a traditional sense. The greatest salesmen in the world are mortgage brokers or real estate agents or, politicians probably. But that's when I thought I'm going to go study. I did my diploma, my advanced diploma in financial planning. And that was kind of the beginnings of realizing, like, I was learning a subject chosen by me, for me, because of what I believed the information, or as much as the information, it was like the ticket that the information provided. I needed to be qualified to practice in financial advice. And that was my greatest aspiration at the time, was having watched Wall Street, and thought, I could be Charlie Sheen. Michael Douglas, like watching those types of things. Yeah, that's where that aspiration came from. And then a bit like you guys, a bit like any autistic person, I'm very black and white. So I'm either not learning or I'm learning everything that is available about this subject I'm now interested in. So I've got back into reading the whole book. I've got back into picking up a book. I stopped reading books. Last year, I exclusively read paper books, put the Kindle away, put the audio away, went back to reading paper books, classics too. I wasn't trying to seek new literature. I read 57 books last year. I got rid of Blinkist as well. The AI quick summaries of books and things. I'd entered that world. I was in that
consuming
short form,
fast.
It's killing our brains. I'm like you. My partner has a Kindle. I cannot read a book through a Kindle. I don't do audiobooks. I do podcasts. I learn through podcasts. That's my kind of audio hit. But I have to pick up a paper book to actually read. And it's not skimming. For me, the magic is in the detail. And the magic is also in applying yourself long enough to read an entire book. Because when you try and implement something from that book, the magic is in how long you're happy to trust and actually implement that off the back of it.
For sure.
Because if you just consume something in 10 seconds, try and implement and expect success in 10 seconds, it's a recipe for disaster.
It's why audio doesn't work for me. I think that comes back to your question. How did I fall in love with learning? Was by making sure I understood how to learn. I had to find, how do you learn? Not how do you hear something, or even how do you comprehend something, but how do you learn it to an extent that you could then teach it? So for me, I have to read the paper book. If it goes in, what I hear, I'll forget. What I write down, I'll remember. So I'll read a book with a book, a notebook. First thing I'm going to do every time I read a book is I'm going to read it with a highlighter. And I intend to highlight somewhere between sort of 20 to 33% of this book. And I'm going to close it. I'm going to put it back on the shelf. I'm going to set myself a reminder to read it in the next 60 days. I'm going to reread that book for a second time, but I'm only going to read the highlighted parts. Now I'm going to get my notebook, and generally I'm getting better at it. Fuck, I can talk and ramble on shit always. But I'm opening the centerfold of a book, and I've got to now summarize for myself a maximum of 32 bullets. I've already got 32 lines, right? So I've got 32 bullet points to take from all those highlighted points. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Then I'll look for my greatest actionable. I'll say, what is the one thing I can take from this, add it to my leadership meeting, because I don't get much contact with my team anymore, right? I only deal with my direct reports in a leadership perspective. So I only got 6 people I talk with. But then I think to myself, how could I use this to the benefit of teaching them what I've learned and looking at how they could apply it inside the office to the betterment of the business? So absolutely. I've actually booked my first ever reading holiday.
Wow.
I'm having 7 days off. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying at my own home, but I'm just going to read. I'm going to disconnect from the internet. I'm going to have no internet. I'm not doing any school runs, although it's one thing I love doing. I'm very proud to do majority of school runs in my family. Is I'm bunkering down. I'm going to my man cave, and I'm not leaving for 168 hours, and I'm going to read.
Why?
Because there is an abundance of information available to us that we are not choosing to tap into. And I know the greatest evolutions in myself have come from information I've acquired from others. I am not omnipotent. I'm Jack. I'm a human. So I don't know what you've never taught me. I don't have anyone in my life that's trying to teach me.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense?
Mm.
Being a business owner, especially a successful person in general, is incredibly lonely. No one will even give you constructive feedback, because who the fuck are they to give you feedback? Like, I seen what car you just pulled out. Like, I guess you already know what you're talking. No, I don't. I am not flying. I'm Buzz Lightyear. I'm falling with more style than you are. So you think I've got it figured out, right? And that's the bit I would want to go back in myself, is I should have realized sooner how to ask for help. Do you know how many people will open a door for you if you ask them to? Do you know how many people will open a door for you if you don't ask them to? Basically nobody. People don't wake up today and think, oh, do you know John Smith, who plays left back for the reserve grade team in my football club? I wonder if he needs any help today, do you know? Or like, if he needs an introduction to a finance company. But sure as shit, if he walks up to you at training, humble, grateful, says, I've been watching some of your content online, I'm really impressed by what you've achieved. You're probably way too busy to help, but if you ever found a moment and could introduce me to X, what would people like us three go and do that night? I'm now looking for 3 people to help you.
100%.
Yeah, I think earlier on in the podcast, you answered a few things for us. Like Ads talks a lot about we seem to be worthy of help, and we don't, or we talk a lot about being worthy of help, and we're like, why do so many people want to help us? And I think it goes back to that story where you weren't necessarily the guy that has to help everyone at the club, but it was what Ads did in terms of actually approaching you and the humility to go and do that.
100%.
Maybe that's the reason, because we ask so many questions and
sure.
we go, hey, and I'm sure after this podcast, the minute we hit pause, you're going to get slammed with loads of questions. There are going to be so many things that I'm going, now you know way more than us in this area, so just teach us.
In a highly isolated space. And there's so many people. The woman homeless on the side of Pack Fair this afternoon has something she can teach you. You want to stop and listen and ask the right question. And I think that's the power in obtaining knowledge from others. You can learn through osmosis, presence, right? But how do I sit? Can I just hang out here all day, every day and listen to you? No, it's not practical, right? So I have to ask you questions. I came here with my own, I'm learning, I'm really intrigued in this partnership because I want to have a partner too. But I'm also fearful because I have past experiences that cause me to not lose a good friend, but to not see all the fruitfulness of a great relationship because of other occurrences, do you know? And I don't see Ryan as much as I should. Do you know where I'm coming from? Our children aren't best of mates like they could have been. And I think that's the power, is you've got to ask the right question. I'm getting this mad flashback. I'm playing golf. I'm at a charity day at Sanctuary Cove, and there's a rugby league player called Ben Eichen. He's like a sports commentator, does like an hour show on Fox each week. And he married Wayne Bennett's daughter. He's known as being quite a straight talking, sort of sternish sort of a bloke. He pulls the unfortunate fucking ticket of being paired with me for the day, right? So now I'm absolutely fascinated by successful people in general, but especially sports people, right? I've never had any talent, so I look at them, they're gods, you know? And I must have asked this bloke nothing short of about 150 questions. Yeah?
Was he getting pissed off by the end?
Towards about hole 14, 15 in his backswing, when I go, what about? You know, I think he was starting to have enough. But at the end of it, he put I might have been mid-20s at this point. He puts his arm around me and he went, you'll do all right in life, you kid. And I was like, what do you mean? Did you know how to ask good questions? And I thought to myself, like, that's one moment where I was like, you're the first, because I've spent my whole life being the autistic kid whose parents were telling him to shut up. Stop asking so many questions. You're not allowed to, because I'd say it.
Yeah.
Why is she, why is he, why did they, you can't say that. Oh, I just did, do you know? But yeah, I think it's a real skill. If you said, what is the defining quality in obtaining other people's knowledge and experience, is knowing how to ask the right questions.
Well, I've got 2 really big ones I want to ask you. First one was going to be, as a skill or a trait or a way of thinking, what's the most important to become successful at business or a life in general? Would you change your answer now based off the story?
No, I'd come back all the way to, if you it has so many different like phraseologies, but it's true and ultimate accountability.
Yeah.
If you realize that your life is happening by choice and not by chance, and every single one of those choices is controlled by you, that's the key.
I listened to a Jack Delosa podcast yesterday with Dan Walker. Do you believe you're the cause or you're the effect?
Yeah, love it.
Fucking so good.
And but do you know how empowering it is as well? Like, part of why people don't want to do that is because they only want to own the wins, not the losses. They want to say the wins were because of my goals. Did you see my fucking free kick? Oh no, great. Oh, that fucking centre back is useless, right? It's never ever your fault you lost. I love claiming the loss. I love owning it because it means that I own the experience and the resources we've gleaned from this loss. You dismissed it. You'll lose this way again. I won't. I won't lose to that same check left hook. You ain't getting me with that one again.
Yeah.
You know?
I was going back to what you said about destiny. Like, I was just thinking now that information you've acquired from Jack Delosa's podcast, people listening to this, that they might learn that. What is that? That information is so easy to obtain. What does it give you? Right now, not much. But that small change in your thinking and your mindset compounded over a number of years or even months, because it doesn't take too much time in nowadays to change your fucking circumstances. But it's back to taking that knowledge and living by it with no guaranteed return other than destiny. Of if I fucking live by the right principles, make the right choices, have the right beliefs, life will just come
blind
to
faith
me.
is so difficult. Because we're an anxious society, right? Like, we always want tomorrow's news today. I want to know it now. I would love to know the percentage of people that find out what sex their child is now to 50 years ago. Or even to I don't even know if you could find out 50 years ago, but to when you were able to find out to today.
We're all chasing certainty. Ad's moved to Australia. Didn't know who Jack Corbett was. But just by moving to Australia and kind of coming up to you on the Broad Beach balcony because he heard your accent, look at it.
And I moved to Australia not knowing who Jamie Thomas was. Full circle moments that Jamie Thomas, the first man to ever give me a chance. He's friends with my brother, takes me to Jim Owen comedy night at the Gold Coast Exhibition Centre on my first ever night, the Friday. Before the first act comes on stage, I fall asleep in my seat. The boys, being good guys, I'm actually surprised this happened. No dicks drawn on my forehead, nothing. They actually let me sleep. They woke me up at the end. The auditorium is totally empty. I'm the last person to walk out. That's Friday night. Sleep it off on the Saturday hungover. Go to Jamie Thomas's house in Mermaid Sunday. Watch the UFC. I'm saying, yeah, like, I'm a seller. I did sales. I worked for, the Shop Direct network. I used to sell out the Littlewoods catalogue to people, right? That was my job. So I know what I'm doing. I'll talk to fucking anybody. Give me a phone. I'll sell it. He says, all right, you start Monday. Here's the address. I'm like, mad. I don't know the Gold Coast, right? So to me, Varsity Lakes could be anywhere. I live in Surfers. You live in Varsity Lakes. We'll figure that out. Shouldn't be a problem. 2010, there's no tram. There's also no bus that goes past Pack Fair. Pack Fair is like the centre for all bus routes, right? So I'm having to get 2 buses to Varsity to walk to the office, to do my day's work, to get 2 buses home. And if you miss that last bus, because there was only one connecting bus out of Pack Fair at a certain time to get you back, you wouldn't make it home. My very first day, I get the bus on the wrong side of the road. Driver says, all change. I was like, no, I live in Surfers, man. He just laughs at me. He goes, this is Tweed. I was like, yeah, but so when's the next bus to Surfers? He's like, no, this is the last bus of the night. It's my first day. I came here with £1,000, £2,000. I spent half of my whole life's worth on a Tara Cash suit, right, to get to the job. Then I've got to pay for a taxi to get me home, decimating the bank balance. But he gave me, we were earning after tax, you earned $560 a week. My rent was $260, at the time. Thank God for self-serve in Woolworths had just come out and I was buying a lot of brown onions. I was buying a lot of brown onions at that time. But we got by. And then full circle, 10 years later, I have the chance to help Jamie Thomas start his career in finance. And now the success that he's made off of it and bought a second house and got 2 kids, married and everything in between, So there's a lot of those times. And if I was going to put a bow on this so we can move to something different, if you act like the person who can change your life, is already in the room, watch how you conduct yourself differently. If at all times you truly believed, even in your own shower in the morning, your own bedroom at night, in the solitude of the gym, if you believe that the person who can change your life was watching you right now, what would you do differently? Whatever the answer to that is, just do that. Then do it 10,000 times in a row. And at the end of that, I guarantee you, you're a successful expert in your field.
And it's doing it 10,000 times in a row without expecting anything back. And I think that's why the story is so, so important.
And taking the 4,000 failures, but you thought you were going to get it right every time. How many times have you boys got something wrong in this business?
Oh, fucking thousands.
Probably done 2 this morning. You probably got 1 since we've been sat in here. You know what I mean? It's like, that's real life. Do you bastardize yourself for it? The best leaders, visionaries who are running at that breakneck, like user, I've never been growing this. I was more the tortoise, you know? You're taking the hare route. People look at me and go, oh, you're doing really well for you. Yeah, but like this is year 19. I've owned a business for 19 years. Nobody let me have a day off or a sick day. Nobody came and cleared my credit bill for me or just said, hey, I've got this awesome staff member. You don't have to pay any recruitment fee. You can just have them. And they can sell from day one and they're going to hit records, you know?
Yeah.
But they see the product of your efforts and they have envy towards it. Do you know?
You got lucky, right?
I'm very lucky. I feel I created my own luck, but I do also at the same time have a lot of gratitude that in moments that could have gone against me, they didn't.
But there's a reason because of that, mate. It's the reps along the way. And I think that's where that story is so important for the listeners, because people sat here at home now, I'm in a rut. How do I change? Well, how do you change? It's those behaviors of the person in the room that can change your life. Start doing those now for 10,000 days and not expect anything back. Because so many people now just want to go action reward.
And start with 10 days. I ran a marathon for anyone who knows me would say there's no way on God's green earth that bloke would run up the stairs. Do you know? I wasn't that person. It wasn't important to me. That's why I thank Broadbeach so much. And playing Metro League, me, you, and Tom Irvine centre midfield away at Merrimack on your first. I'm sure you do remember it. Would have been a lot of long 90 minutes for you. But that was the beginnings of like wanting to actually feel fit and healthy and understanding that how that made me feel about myself. So inspiration is everywhere. The opportunity to press the reset button is everywhere. And I didn't run 42 kilometers. I ran 1 kilometer 42 times in a row. And that's the only way I ever trained for it. And that's the only way I ever reached the end. I'm not running 42Ks today. I'm running 1K 42 times in a row. And every time I questioned myself, I asked, how far through this 1K am I? And how long do I have to go? You got 450 meters to go. So what, you mean once around the Nunnery Wood? Like, I've got this. What was at the end of it? Just 1 more kilometer. Just 1 more. Do you have 1 more in you? And I had 1 more in me 42 times. Do you know what I mean? And that's life. That's business. That's being able to sit and not have to constantly look at the man. Like to sit there and have your 4th $1 million tax bill in a row. I dreamt one day I'd earn I dreamt one day I'd have $1 million. Then I dreamt I'd earn $1 million in 1 year. Now, regardless of how much depreciation or deductions you try and apply, you know, this fine institution that administrates on behalf of our democratically elected government, what's $1 million of your profit every year, right? Or 30%, 25 to 30%, depending on your turnover every year. Can I have a ramble? Is it okay? Can we go at the ATO for 2 minutes?
That rip.
I am also a resident of the UAE and have been since 2022. I love this country. I'm so fucking proud to be an Australian citizen, and I wouldn't pick any other country in the world for my children to be born in than here. Right? Let me make that crystal clear. For the last 2 terms, my preferred government has not been making decisions on behalf of me and my business. And at which point you start to question whether there are means for you to be able to make this more advantageous to you, right? So We are the only country in the G20 that penalizes you for having too many staff.
Payroll tax.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me your perspective on payroll tax?
We get punished for giving Australians jobs.
So you're giving too many people a job and you're paying them too much.
Well, we're looking at an offshoring model. We're just about to clip over payroll tax probably in the next 12
Why wouldn't you
next 12
offshore?
months.
Then also, why wouldn't you divide this business, have one director that has shared shareholdership, that has the stakeholdership owned by his family trust, and have your new entity that you're about to launch, which if I understand it correctly, is going to supersede, like, that's the game changer, right? That's going to 10x the business you've got today. Why don't you individually direct that? Because your director's identification number will have a sub $1.3 million payroll. So you've got 1.28 million, you've got 1.28 million. Your missus has now started a family, make her the director of the payroll and admin. What are we actually doing here?
Just cheating the system.
You're making me cheat. I'm not a cheater. And I actually don't want to cheat. But you're making me. Because if I employ too many people, I have to give you 4% of what I pay them. Why don't they get that 4%? Why don't you forcibly make me put that 4% in their super? Then I'd agree to it. Make sense?
Yeah.
So now I've just passed over 50 million in turnover as a director. My business entities turn over 50 million a year. So if I increase my turnover from 40 million at a 20% margin, making 8 million a year, and I pay 25% tax, 2 million of that 8, right? If I go to 50 million by employing more people and driving the growth of my business, but because of that, as we all know, I concede margin and I'm only making 5% of that 50 million, that $2.5 million is taxed at 30%. What's the logic to that? Explain that to me. And then answer the question, why does Australia have more small business owners, so businesses that have 2 employees or less that turn over under $1 million or less? Most of them aren't even GST registered. Somehow they only make 80 grand. Why is that?
They're not getting caught up in the bullshit.
So I think we have a systemic issue which prevents Australian businesses from truly scaling. Because those two factors alone we have a Filipino team. We're developing a South African team. I'll have an Indian team by next year. I will get every person who is in any way related to me and or works for my business to become the director of a division that feeds 100% of its profit back to the core model. What are we actually doing?
Keeping lawyers busy.
Right? My answer? No taxes on anything except consumption. All transactions, regardless of your turnover, are liable to GST. And GST is 25%.
Does that stack?
Do the math. But who are you taxing? Who gets taxed? Is it the pensioner? Do they get taxed? Is it the investor? Do they get taxed? Is it the working class family that's struggling to make? The only person you're taxing is the consumer. What is our GDP?
Question.
What is 25% of our GDP? Yeah. Is that a greater amount than our current realized tax revenue? Does it simplify a system? How hard would your BAS statement be?
It's a piss. Yeah.
How much of the wages do your staff get to keep? So what are they more likely to do?
Yeah.
Are they the consuming generation or the saving generation?
Consuming.
Yeah.
We're in the second highest credit debt per capita of any country outside of the US. Aussies spend money they haven't even made yet. Just because you pay them more doesn't mean they're going to spend less. They're going to spend more. When they spend more, are they going to spend it? Probably shouldn't have. They're likely to keep spending it in institutions. Yeah. When they spend it, what does that institution have to pay?
Yeah, GST.
What do they need to buy? Supplies so that they pay GST.
Yeah.
GST. And I think it's obvious when you look at the UAE. Yes, we have 9% corporations tax. The most ass-backward system in the world, right, in the UAE. So you pay 9% tax as a company, but you pay 0% as an individual. So what do you do with your company profits each year? Pay them to yourself.
Yeah.
The polar opposite to here.
Yeah.
What do we do with our profits? We have to retain them, invest them. We have to distribute them to trust. We have to Division 7 them, right? So in that, then in the last 50 years has Dubai or Sydney been more progressive?
Dubai for by a mile.
Democracy does not lead to productivity. Start sounding very right-wing here. I hope you guys understand. I am raised by like a true socialist. My mother is a Che Guevara shirt wearing, freedom fighting, Labour voting socialist, and has been my entire upbringing, right? I used to think I was centre. Maybe centre slightly left. Because I really wanted people who struggled to have at least a minimum level lifestyle. But I still had a bit of capitalism in me because I wanted to see those that went above and beyond be rewarded for their efforts too, right? But I feel like the left has gone so far left now, do you know, liberalism, that I actually probably am centre-right. I'm a bit of a traditionalist, do you know? And I don't want to ramble too much, but I'm a bit of a traditionalist in that sense. And I think when you look at how the aspirations of a young Australian, I believe that the system is designed to allow them to achieve, but not to achieve too much. I want you to do well. I just don't want you to do too well, or certainly not better than me, right? And that has led us to be in the highest percentage of government employed people, with the highest, percentage of the workforce is currently government employed since 1945.
Yeah, wow.
Anti-productivity, hey? Mate, if I can get one tip direct down the camera to someone listening to this.
Where is the camera?
Someone listening to this.
I probably should have been looking at that a long time ago.
That's all good. To someone who's got an idea. They haven't started yet. They think they know what they want to do. They're probably going on ChatGPT and doing business plans, but they're just not taking action. What's that one statement?
People vote with their wallets. Don't build a business around a solution that you need. Build a business around a solution that can be delivered en masse or at high value, because without that, you're so niche that you're probably just helping yourself.
That's
bang.
Gosh, simple. Mate, I've learned a hell of a lot in this episode, so I can only think that the people listening to this who are pretty much in that vein of I want to go and achieve and break the employee mindset, I think they'd have taken away a hell of a lot, mate. So thanks for being so raw and open and honest and sharing your story as well.
I appreciate you guys having me, and on behalf of everybody, I think go back to why are you being so wildly accepted and why have you not even started where you guys will go, is because you're real, you're relatable, and real recognizes real. People are watching you, and I bet you get it all the time. They'll say, I know this about you. They feel like they're already a part of your life because you're willing to let them into it. So this will get harder. What comes with success is also expectation. And all I ask of you is what I hope I've managed to achieve for myself is just keep your feet firmly on the ground. And in all the opportunities this opens up for you, don't forget the people that were there when it wasn't all going that way. The ones who opened the door when there was nothing for them to stand to gain from it. Because I know in my life now, there's so many people that want to be close to me because of where I'm at now. You get where I'm coming from. So protect your consciousness, your purity, give to those that deserve it, and just keep doing what you're doing, boys. This whole city is so proud of you. So proud of you. It's so inspiring. And I think now's the moment more than ever. Double and triple down and show them what you're really capable of.
Goosebumps.
Good man. Yeah.
Cheers,
Thanks, mate.
Appreciate it.